Like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. Oh boy. I haven't been live in a few days. I am officially retired. Can y'all believe that? Oh, let me move this. Oh shit. I didn't want that. Damn. Oh shit. Where is it? Let's see. I'm waiting on therapy. Hey y'all, what's up? What's up? Give me a minute. Damn, where is it? Damn, where is it at? So the topic is, why are people still voting Democratic? I was gonna make it like for black folk, but it ain't just black folk that's voting Democrat. Because everything they stand for is against God. Everything. From transgender ideology to eugenics, abortions. Oh, here it go right here. Damn, I don't know how I did that. Their ideology is totally against what God stands for. They support immigration over, hey Jason, they support immigration over American citizens. The abortion, I mean, I used to believe that every woman has the right to choose until you get into the history of Planned Parenthood and the thing to kill all the ugly black babies, what's behind eugenics as far as for black folk. You know, the homosexual agenda, pushing this, the trans on kids, puberty blockers, mutilating kids that may change their mind. Everything they stand for is against God. And I don't know how people still support the party. and you voting against your own image, especially black folks. They've been in power 50, 60 years, and what the hell have they done for black folks? This is not the party, the Democratic Party, that my grandmama and mama voted for. This is a totally different. They are socialists and communists now. And I said, damn, you push this agenda, and it's 10 tenets to the Illuminati. One is to abolish property. And what is Mandani doing now? Taking homes from landlords, wants to take homes from landlords and give it to the community. This is how you communism abolish home ownership. I didn't think then one of the tenets of the is to stamp out Christianity. So now they're using Islam to stamp out Christianity, and then they're gonna stamp out Islam. I said, damn, the agenda is so deep. I never thought that these things were possible. Oh yeah, but it's possible. And I should change this title to black folks because I'm really talking to my people, but I just didn't want to put that in the title. The overwhelmingly support of black voters for the Democratic Party is driven by historical. Hey Valerie, how you doing, boo? Driven by civil rights. That shit was damn 60s, damn near 60 years ago. Facts. Rob, that is a true fact. And I just got through talking about the 10 tenets of the Illuminati because most of them are gatekeepers of the Illuminati, especially if you're talking about the Black Boule, your Roland Martins, your Travis Smiley, your shit. Yeah, they're gatekeepers. Your Jay Z, your P Diddy, gatekeepers of the Illuminati. That is so true. It is the hidden hand. And I was just saying that one of the tenets, because it's 10 tenets, is to abolish private property. And I couldn't figure all these years I've been studying how would they do that? Well, now you have Democrats who are now outright, like Karen Bass, she went and studied under Castro. Are communists or socialists? It's one of the same to me. And one of the and Mandani now is saying that they're going to take the properties from these slumlords in New York and give it to the community. I said, damn, that's how they going to stomp out um private property ownership. Well, damn, everybody done left. So anyway, civil rights, collective bargaining strategies, and a shared perception of party platforms of governments and systematic equality. While Black Americans hold a diverse range of political, religious, and social views, they have historically voted as a unified bloc to maximize their political leverage and protect their civil rights. And ain't shit happened, but y'all, that you gave them Kamala and Biden, you gave the Asians an anti-crime bill. You didn't do shit for black folks. They had the nerve to say, "Well, if you don't vote for me, you're not black." And you never liked black folks in the first place. Biden, you the most racist asshole. You probably don't remember that now, but anyway. Black folks needed a anti-hate crime bill, all the shit that we have been through. But you keep supporting people who are against your best interest. They ain't did shit for black folks since civil rights. And it was the Republicans that voted for the civil rights. It wasn't the Democrats. Historically, black Americans were staunch supporters of the Republican Party because it was the Republican Party abolitionists who ended slavery, not the Democrats, because they supported the KKK, they supported Jim Crow. Everything they had supported was against our best interest, and it was the Republican Party because we were Republicans. I don't know how this shit switched, but they got most of my people. Blacks were staunch supporters of the Republican Party, the party of Lincoln, following the emancipation. The shift to the Democratic Party occurred in two waves: the New Deal, President Roosevelt economic relief programs provided crucial jobs and assistance to black families during the Great Depression. Mm, they ain't did shit for you since the 60s. The Civil Rights era under John F. Kennedy and then Lyndon Johnson champagne led landmark legislation like the Civil Rights Act of 1964 and the Voting Rights Act of 1965. Concurrently, the Republican Party opposed aspects of these bills and adopted the Southern strategy to attract conservative white Southern voters, pushing black voters further to the Democrats. Political science points to the concept of linked fate, a psychological framework where individual black Americans believe that what happens to the broader racial group impacts their own life outcomes. Black voting patterns are often characterized by electoral pragmatism rather than pure ideology alignment. Voting for Democrats is frequently viewed as a defensive to protect federal civil rights. That's furthest from the truth. Voting access, that is not a safety net program. Safety net programs that keep your ass dependent on the government for survival. That's fucked up. Because Black Americans have historically navigated high levels of social and spectacle segregation, strong social networks such as the Black church, civic groups, and families operate to enforce group norms. This is true. Within these networks, supporting the Democratic Party was traditionally been treated as a norm of group thing. That's true. That is true. It is a common misconception that black voters are universally liberal. In reality, 70% of black Democrats identify as moderate or conservative. That's a fact, often holding deeply traditional moral, religious, or economic beliefs. However, because they perceive the Republican Party as unsupportive, which is not true, or hostile to racial equity, their cultural conservatism rarely translates into a Republican vote. Younger Black Americans who are further removed from civil rights report feeling less automatic loyalty to the party. Thank God for them because the YN seemed the one that had the most sense in some areas of thinking. Polling tracked by Nikkeian Center and other outlets have highlighted a slow, gradual erosion of Democrat identification among black men and younger cohorts through, though the majority still lean away from the Republican platform. Okay, now I'm gonna take this out of here. Mm. More and more college educated voters are sorting into Democratic Party as many Hispanic and some black voters shift toward the Republican Party. Perhaps the most famous realignment is the shift of black voters to becoming a reliable Democratic voting base in the mid 20th century. In his research at Georgetown University, Hans Knoll, um, he created a data set of political thinkers. I'm not going to read all this, I'm skimming through. So they liked the Affordable Care Act, which was not affordable. The Republican Party was founded in 1854 as an anti-slavery party, and we were Republicans first, and have been seen as the party of racial liberalization through the 19th and 20th centuries. But by 1964, it was the Democratic Party who signed the Civil Rights Act into law. The racial realignment of the parties is based on strategy. Democrats were seeking black votes in the North, made a tactical decision to switch their views on race in order to win elections. This is a popular model for understanding politicians. All right, so let's get off into these videos. I'm gonna go to the old ones first. No, I'm gonna go to the new ones first. Let's start at the top. Look at these four black men right here, right? These are four black men in Congress in white districts. Why do you think this is happening? Do you think that you can coon for white folks enough to make them vote you for Congress in their district? Right. White folks will let you do the Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Michael Jackson, all you goddamn want to. You can build Cosby, you can step a Fletcher all day. They're not gonna vote you in their district unless you are qualified. Facts. Or unless the people that you're running against is superly, overly underqualified. Facts. What do you mean, Javon? Those men are congressmen in districts where white folks are just tired of the gayness, the Democratic abortionists, right, the Democratic transness, the Democratic men can compete against women. They tired of they just tired of it. That's all. That's a fact. Look at these four men right. And they represent white districts. That's Brian Donalds, John James here in Michigan. I can't think of the other two names, but they'll be coming up.
Ladies and gentlemen, what we're watching happen to the Democrat Party needs to be studied because the shocking poll we're about to get into is an absolute nightmare for Democrats. Mind you, this is coming from CNN. They even have to admit this and are now saying the midterms are basically a toss-up. And so, while Hakeem Jeffries and the rest of the Democrat Party keeps walking around pretending everything is fine, the numbers are telling a very different story. The Democrat Party is so unlikable that even the left's Trump derangement syndrome is not enough to save them. And even CNN is starting to admit Democrats are in serious trouble. As always, if you enjoy the content, smash that thumbs up button. That's the best way to let me know. Subscribe and stay locked in with all the future.
I like him. This is Charles Forte. I like him.
Is explaining how Democrats will win back the House and basically how they are the only ones standing between black voters and Jim Crow 2.0 from happening. Take a listen. And so, Susan Delbene said earlier today, we're going to win back control of the House. And the big fight will be what happens in between 2026 and 2028. Because we know this unprecedented assault on black political representation. The likes of
that is not, and that is a total lie. I cannot stand Hakeem Jeffries. I'm not voting for you just because you black. Them days is over. What is your policy? What do you stand for? And I'm voting my damn pocketbook.
which we have not seen since the Jim Crow era, the ghost of the Confederacy has afflicted the United States Supreme Court majority and is invading and haunting the nation right now, and we take that seriously. And we know it's going to continue, which is why Democrats are committed to launching a decisive and overwhelming response in advance of the 2028 election to ensure that it's the American people who are the ones who get to decide who's in the majority in the House, who's in the...
You ain't gave a shit about the American people because all y'all support is illegal immigrants. You ain't supported no American people. I'm sorry, you have not. If you were legal, yeah, they support your ass.
Majority in the Senate, and ultimately in 2028, who gets elected as the next president of the United States of America? When you look at what the left does, it really is quite fascinating. You got Hakeem Jeffries over here talking about Jim Crow this, ghost of Confederacy that.
Black Boule, gatekeeper of the Illuminati, is who he is. Black Boule, facts. Bought and paid for George Soros, and he even had dinner with Jeffrey Epstein. That came out.
Basically, reading out of a book on how to keep black people in fear and believing they are the victim. Republicans have concluded that they need to cheat to win. That's what they're celebrating. Is that what you're elevating right now? The notion that 4 unelected judges would overturn the votes of more than 3 million citizens in Virginia? Is this what Republicans are celebrating right now? Because the people in Virginia right now.
He's talking about the redistricting. The Supreme Court did not take away your damn vote. It took away of doing maps for one racial group. They said that was unconstitutional. Your vote is still intact. The fuck?
Are outraged, they're angry, and they're determined to send a message in November. Regardless of what ultimately happens before the Supreme Court of the United States of America, where that reckless decision by the Virginia Supreme Court is now on appeal. So now, because the left doesn't like the way things are going with the Supreme Court decision, the Supreme Court is now reckless, and Republicans are cheating. I mean, isn't that rich? Which I find incredibly fascinating coming from Hakeem Jeffries.
Exactly, Sandman, exactly.
Trick in the book to try and redraw their maps.
Right.
Until the Virginia Supreme Court stepped and said, nah, you can't do that. Hakeem Jeffries, who was literally celebrating and poking his chest out, thinking that Democrats had pulled it off, had the rug pulled from underneath him, and even CNN had to admit that it's not looking good for Democrats right now. Take a look. But I think this poll serves as a big-time reality check for Democrats, and that is, it ain't over yet, especially with the redistricting when we look ahead to the 2026 race for Congress. You would have thought that
exactly, Sammy, I'm with you.
It didn't happen. Look, in March, Democrats are up by 6 points. Look at this now. Democrats are up by 3 points, and I want you to note the yellow lettering.
Thank you, Sammy, for subscribing.
It is within the margin of error. So despite all the talk about Donald Trump's unpopularity, the fact is Republicans very much remain in the game when it comes to the congressional midterm.
I walked away too. Because everything they stand for is against, they ain't did shit for black folks in 50, 60 years. Not a damn thing. But they gave the Asians an anti-hate crime bill. We ain't get shit, and we need it more than anybody. Exactly, Seth. They're gonna wake up. Because they haven't done nothing for us.
Which are occurring in what, 6 or 7 months at this point? Yeah. Even if you want to say, well, Republicans are not winning, it's simply a toss-up. That's not good. Because let's be real. Look at everything going on right now in the country that the left blames Trump for. How is it even a toss-up? Democrats are so unpopular, even Trump derangement syndrome is not enough to save them. People may not be happy with what the president is doing when it comes to Iran, but they can't stand Democrats more. So a lead of 3 points in the generic ballot test here. Does that get the job done?
Sammy, I'm just ready to throw the phone down. You absolutely right. And they put Ketanji Brown in office, and she couldn't even explain what a woman was. They support transgender, the homosexual agenda. I don't care if you like that, but leave the kids out of it. I don't give a fuck what your sexuality is, but when you start mutilating kids who may change their minds, and you have so many, and I did a couple videos on the trans who are so unhappy when they became adults and they are transitioning back to who they were. You can't make this up. And everything they stand for is against God. And you have all these Christians and they vote this party, but you say you love God. I'm just saying. But everything they stand for is against what he says in his word. I'm just saying. It don't take a rocket science for me. And I'm just like blown away. Now, if you support illegal immigration, if you support killing black babies and all that, and at the DNC they actually they were doing abortions outside of the DNC. If you support that, if you want the illegal immigrants to come on and stay in your house and you give them health care, then you do that. My point exactly, Sammy. My point exactly. If you support boys and girls sports, then that's the party for you. If you support all that, you think that's fine. They are, and that's when you deal with Margaret Sanger with Planned Parenthood. They put those abortion clinics in black community. It's called eugenics to get rid of all the black ugly babies, and that's a fact. Yup, Margaret Sanger. Yup. So we're gonna get back on this. I gotta
No, it might not actually get the job done. And I love any reference to Airplane, I will say, and Leslie Nielsen. Look at this. Okay, take a look here. Democrats in the National House vote margin. According to my estimate, what they need for control with redistricting in terms of the national popular vote is somewhere of a win between 3 and 4 points. What's CNN's current poll with no clear leader? It's a 3-point advantage. If this were, in fact, the actual result come election day, the race for Congress, the race for the House, would be basically a toss-up. And that is why the redistricting efforts that have been happening are so important. Because before the redistricting happened, Democrats essentially just needed to win the National House popular vote in order to win control of the House of Representatives.
Yes, I'm not a fan of CNN either, but this is, yeah.
And a 3-point win may very well not do it. This is well within the realm of possibilities. Could be Democrats take back the House. You know, if Democrats outperform the Senate and vote by 3 points, they take it back. But they could underperform as well, and that would be big time. Now, a lot of this is going to be decided by what happens with Iran because of the pressure it is placing on inflation and gas prices. And so that could flip everything. If this conflict ends with probably at least.
Now, you ain't lying about that. Because, look, I love Trump, but let me just tell you something. I have to use 93, and I was paying like $6. I said, God, but it's coming down. I'm down to $5.29 now. I was like, now I had to send him an email. Now you got to wrap this damn thing up now. Now come on, food already high. That's okay. I'll go ahead and get what I need. Right, is what did Malcolm X say? And he said that in 64, that the white liberal is the enemy of black Americans. The white liberal who trying to do you a favor. Okay, well, we're not gonna I'm gonna take this out. But I want to go back and play this video. I want to play this again, Sammy. You weren't here when I played it. Wait.
Look at these 4 black men right here, right? These are 4 black men in Congress in white districts. Why do you think this has happened? Do you think that you can coon for white folks enough to make them vote you for Congress in their district?
Hell no.
White folks will let you do the Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Michael Jackson, all you goddamn want to. You can Bill Cosby, you can Stephen Fletcher all day. They're not going to vote you in their district unless you are qualified.
Facts.
Or unless the people that you're running against is superly, overly underqualified. What do you mean, Javon?
Is it exactly, Sammy?
Districts where white folks are just tired of the gayness, the Democratic abortionists, the Democratic transness, the Democratic men can't compete against women. They tired of they just tired of it. That's all.
Now that's a fact what he said. I'm keeping that video.
Bill Clinton and Barack Obama supported the migrant thing. Barack Obama and Bill Clinton supported Kamala Harris and Joe Biden bringing migrants off and dropping them off in black communities.
Right.
Everybody said that to Barack Obama. Yeah, it's crazy because it was a government agenda. Listen, the Democratic Party is tired of being branded the party of black folks. They don't like that because it's hard for them to attract other voters as long as they look like the party of black folks. Even though they don't do nothing for us. We made them the party of black folks. The reason they was flushing us out with the migrants is so Chicago is no longer predominantly black. New York is no longer predominantly black. Other cities are no longer predominantly black, right? And now the migrants can vote for us and stuff. Yeah. And they want to finish what they started. The black elites, the Roland Martins and Al Sharptons of the world, they have to keep you voting. Because if you don't vote, they don't get paid. They get contracts from these parties.
Facts.
Remember, the Democratic Party gave Al Sharpton $500,000 allegedly, and Roland Martin $250,000 allegedly to get black people out to the polls. And guess what? They lost. So guess what? They may not get as much money next time. This is about money and business.
And I don't like Umar Johnson. He's the top scammer, but he was on point on that. I can't take away the man's intelligence. Oh yeah, that's true, Sammy. That's true. That's true. That's true. But they've been trying to do that since 1907 when the Rothschilds funded the NAACP. Because when the Rothschilds funded the NAACP, it was only one black on that board, and that was W.E.B. Du Bois. And I used to love him, but he was a gatekeeper. He was Black Boule for the Illuminati. Everybody else on that board when it was first founded was Jewish. I ain't got nothing against Jews, but they was white Jews. W.E.B. Du Bois was the only one, and I never supported the NAACP when I found that information out. And I talk about it here. I think my last video I did on the NAACP. Yep, exactly.
Tonight, Virginia Democratic leaders are going to the U.S. Supreme Court to try to overturn a state ruling striking down their new gerrymandered congressional map. Okay, for some people, this story is over. For Democrats, it is not. The Virginia map battle. So now it's being reported that Democrats are trying to take this case straight to the Supreme Court, even though the Supreme Court within Virginia
Facts,
has
Sammy.
already shot this
Me
down.
and you on
So I
one
think this
page.
poll serves as a big-time reality check for Democrats, and that is, it ain't over yet, especially with the redistricting when we look ahead. Okay, so things are getting very interesting with this redistricting battle. Although, yes, Virginia was shot down, and this was a very big loss for Democrats, it doesn't
Right,
automatically
Sammy.
mean that Republicans are going to magically
This
win
is
in the
T.S.
midterms.
Fly. I like him. I gotta go to the bathroom. I'm gonna let
Democrats are
this play.
actually a lot less popular, according to new polls, than people realize, which means we're going to have quite the interesting race heading into the midterms. So before we talk about the polling, let's first talk about what's specifically happening in Virginia, and I think Scott Jennings really sums it up the best. Now, real quick, also make sure to please like this video. It helps out a ton, and it also helps others see the videos as well. Let's dig into it. There's a better chance of me sprouting wings and flying out of that window over there than the United States Supreme Court dealing with this in any way, because this is a state Supreme Court ruling on a state constitution. The U.S. Supreme Court doesn't deal with these kinds of things, number one. Number two, the freak out in Virginia has been so extreme. You even had Democrats over there who are saying they want to effectively politically decapitate the entire Virginia Supreme Court by putting an age limit of 54 so they can get rid of every existing justice and install people who will promise to rule a certain way on a certain case. Okay, let's stop here. Scott Jennings is absolutely correct. If you guys go and do your own research, you'll find different headlines like this and articles saying Virginia Dems discussed court overhaul after redistricting ruling. We're talking about possible age limits. Behind the scenes, some Democrats considered going further after a Friday article by the Down Ballot, a progressive outlet, proposed lowering the retirement age for Virginia judges from 73 to 54. Okay, now look, there's been many different reactions from Democrats as far as how they...
I need to move this. Let me move this video to my redistricting. Huh?
I said you just got up.
I never went to sleep. Because my phone kept ringing. I know. I gotta move this video real quick. This should have been in my redistricting. Okay, let me. Here, Malcolm X. Right.
Yesterday was an interesting day for me because I dropped a video titled
This is CJ Perspective.
And in it, I discussed how we voted for the Democratic Party at around a 90% clip for decades. And you would think at this point, we would at least have a hate crime bill.
That part.
The builder situation. And the feedback I got was very revealing. Because if you look up and down my timeline, I've got countless videos discussing Donald
Facts,
Trump
Sammy.
and the racist Republicans. But the moment I dared even question the Democratic Party, I received comments like this. And I even lost a bunch of subscribers. And what that feedback told me was, now I see how the DNC is able to get the black vote without actually having to do anything for the people. And that led me down a rabbit hole of identity politics And I discovered a whole bunch of other foundational Black Americans who starting to wake up to the game.
Facts. That's right. Come on, that part. That's right. Come on.
Come on now.
That part.
Built this country.
That part.
Not only have we built this,
you have put illegal immigrants over us. Right, Sam. Right, Sammy. Exactly. The Republican Party was anti-slavery. We were Republicans first. Facts.
country, we supported the Democrats for the last, 70 years?
Ain't got shit.
And we haven't gotten anything.
Ain't got shit.
So what Unc is saying is, you pretty much want me to sit back and watch my own demise.
Right, that part.
Because you guys are putting everybody in front of us and letting them skip the line. Got him. Got the.
And to keep us in a victim mentality, dependent on welfare, dependent on all these government programs instead of doing for self. I'm just saying. Keep us in a victim mindset.
Flooding our neighborhoods, gatekeeping the jobs.
Facts.
Moving us out of the neighborhoods because it's only so much space. So what do you want us to do?
Facts.
Have a minority coalition with other people who don't want to be our friends? Who actually don't want a coalition with us?
Facts.
That doesn't make any sense.
Right, Sammy.
For all the foundational Black Americans who still have faith in the Democratic Party. If the Democratic Party has made it clear that protecting American citizens is not their number one priority, where do you think we fall on their priority list?
Nowhere.
I want you to really think about it for 1 second. I know you've been thinking whatever the white man tells you to think for years upon years, but right now I want you to think your own thoughts.
Nice meeting you, Sammy. Thank you for subscribing and hitting that like button. Thank you. Thank you.
What has the Democratic Party done for us? They keep telling us to go out there and fight against ICE. Protect illegal immigrants.
Facts.
What are they doing for us? How our communities keep getting worse? Davon Johnson.
And that part about it. Every Democratic state or city is in fucking shit. I live in Detroit. Detroit is up and coming. We came a long way, but I'm just saying. But most Democrat-run cities is hellholes. Chicago, LA, New York. New York has just collapsed with Mandani. I'm just saying, all of these, New Jersey, Newark, all of these places is hellholes. Crime rate, everything. They hellholes. And then if you go look at the red states, they prosperous, got plenty of jobs. All the companies is moving there. No income tax. They trying to get rid of property tax. They are thriving. But these Democratic cities is awful.
Lost his life the other day. to law enforcement, the police department. But they want us fighting against ICE. What are they doing for us?
Facts.
I'm not saying go vote Republican. I'm not telling you to do that. I'm asking you to reevaluate who you're supporting. Think about it. Because it seems like the Democratic Party will support anybody besides black people. Man, that brother brought up a good point.
Right.
As soon as you question the Democratic Party, here comes all the shields. Here comes everybody out of the woodworks. So I'm saying you're voting Republican. I never said that. What I'm saying is I want to hold the party that we've been voting for forever accountable.
Where are the American? I guess right, because you don't get my vote just because you black. Where are the tangibles? That part. That part.
That's what I gather. There's always been some Malcolm X talking about that. Right? The other thing about these people, especially black people who say they're so pro-black, love to talk about how militant Malcolm X is, but Malcolm X also withdrew about the white liberal and his agenda. And the white liberal, the 96 inches looking back, he goes, it's not one of them. Right? He's not going to push the wall. And so with that, it's easy to internalize people in fear. And if you really wanted somebody to vote for you in a real way, not just in a surface substantial way, you would say, okay, I know for a fact that the average black voter does not understand people's platforms. Yeah. You know I was right. It's okay. Take that elbow back. Yeah. If you can, you would say, he's going to test this plan with this person who is running for office. Ask me, this is what these particular senators have. Here's your platform. You create YouTube channels and broke it down with infographics. If you really wanted to get that message out, we don't do that. You know what we do? We get these niggas talking about how bad Orange Man is.
Right.
We get a man that says, you gotta vote this way. That's what we get.
Facts.
Being a foundational black American, that's what we get. We get political theater.
Facts.
We get what's the dude's name from Memphis yesterday? Stomping around like he's at a revival. We get all these black celebrities who live behind gated communities telling us to vote for Democrats. But when you go to the places that they never go to, those places that are Democrat run are shitholes.
I just said that.
We're asking for policy.
Yep.
We're asking for set-asides. We're asking for tangibles. And everybody's up in arms now.
I just said that. We want tangibles.
The toothpaste is out of the bottle. Listen, you Democrats, do you really think that the black community in black America, especially people like myself that live in the ghetto, really want to be replaced by illegal immigrants that you fight for? I actually saw black folks fighting so that they can be replaced by illegal immigrants. It was astonishing. They're actually fighting. Now they got this Black Panther Party out there. By the way, Democrats have historically hated the Black Panther Party, and so much that they killed them. We have this going on.
We sitting up there in New Jersey at the Delaney ICE facility fighting for illegal immigrants to replace y'all ass. If this is not the craziest shit ever, the fuck is going on?
And they expect that some black fool,
You got your key.
would actually want to side with illegal immigrants in America.
Right.
That's the dumbest thing I can do. You can't conceive dumber. Literally, tell me what is actually dumber than that.
Come on.
You can't conceive it. I don't get it. But the Democrats think that they can sell the black community this lie. They think that the Jasmine Crockett, the Raquel Warnock, the Stacey Abrams, these individuals can actually sell the black community on letting illegals live in their neighborhoods, take their resources, buy their houses, fill their hospitals. They actually think that that's what's good for us. They think that.
Facts. That part.
And see, if you're black and you're watching this, if you're Black American and you're watching this, don't feel ashamed. I fell for the banana in the tailpipe. I won't anymore. After I had a daughter, I started looking outward at what our future is going to look like as being Black Americans in this country. And I said, oh, no. They're trying to erase us.
Facts.
And trying to move us out the way. And so what they'll do is put a black politician like Jasmine Crockett who walks and talks like us.
You got to put gas in the car because ain't nothing in there.
Who walks and talks like
It's
us.
14
pull on
miles.
our heartstrings and say they got our best interest in mind. They should, right? They're Black Americans. And then you go down to Justin Pierce's district where he has control over, and there's absolutely nothing going on down there. It's destitute in Memphis.
Facts.
Have you been in Memphis?
That's a fact.
I don't blame you if you don't want to go. Because the homicide rates is terrible.
Yep.
Black on black crime is terrible. My young nieces and nephews, they can't read and write. Where is the programs at? Get off that stage shucking and jiving and go down to that community and start building some stuff. Quit telling me about Donald Trump and tell me about the next community program that you have so we can help these children read and raise their literacy rates.
Facts.
The only thing they always tell us is Republican bad. Republican bad. No, that's not what I asked you. I asked you, what policies do you plan to implement to help our young Black American children learn to read, write, and do math? No, don't worry about that. I said, Republicans bad. Republicans bad. The jig is up, man.
Facts.
There's Black American ladies say that immigrant first policies is more detrimental to the Black American community than Jim Crow South. All I can say to you is that you are a disgrace. I've been many years old, and I've never seen anything like that. I grew up in Jim Crow South. The policies that you're passing in this city remind me of the Jim Crow South. I had to drink out of a colored water fountain, where the whites would drink out of a white water fountain. But you know what I didn't have to worry about? Going back to my community and the schools, and everybody else is in my community for Black people. And this is what you've done with this program. You have allowed all these people, you brought all these people into this city. You are destroying this city.
Facts.
You did that. You're doing this to your people. You are an absolute disgrace to me. Like I said, I drank out of that colored water fountain, but I could go back to that Black community that was intact. Women are crying. Taxes are going up. What am I going to do with my children? Where are we going to go and live? This is because of you, Brandon Johnson.
Facts.
You're destroying the south side of Chicago with your policy. She said that the Jim Crow era was pretty bad. At least she had a community to retreat to. The Black American community to retreat to. Now you have these immigrants going into the Black American communities practicing Jim Crow. They're practicing segregation, right? They get into these jobs. They're going to continue to hire people that look like them, that speak their language. They're not hiring outsiders. Isn't that weird to say you're American, but you're an outsider in your own Black community?
Facts.
This is what they're setting up, Jim Crow type laws in the Black American community, pushing Black Americans out of their own community. In Chicago, where resources
Facts.
limited.
That's a fact.
Is already limited. But now you have these immigrant first policies putting immigrants over Black Americans. This is not about coexisting. This is about literally pushing Black Americans out of their communities and pushing them out of the job market. Because how can you stay in a community if you don't have access to money, if you don't have access to jobs? And see, that's one of the conversations a lot of people want to avoid. A lot of these people coming over here, these immigrants, are hostile towards Black Americans.
Facts.
They're hostile.
Facts.
Another layer to it. I've seen situations where, I think in California, where they've got signs up saying if you're not bilingual, you can't work here. How does that work in America, in my country?
Facts.
How in my country do you have to be bilingual to work at a certain job? We let them come over here and take over the place. And we've got to reel this thing back in. And it's going to start with the foundational Black Americans. We're going to have to stand up, which we are. It's a renaissance right now. And tell the Democrats, we're not having it. If you're not going to give us specific policies for foundational Black Americans, I don't want to hear it.
Facts.
I don't want
That
to hear
part.
pounding the table for illegal immigrants.
Facts.
I don't care about nobody else's agenda because nobody else cares about ours. And so that's what time it is.
That part.
And then another thing is, in that Democratic Party, I can't tell who's an immigrant and who's not. You get what I'm saying? Of course, they don't care. They don't care about the Black American not getting nothing because not only are they immigrants, their parents are immigrants, their children are immigrants, their nieces and nephews, but they're running rampant inside the Democratic Party.
Facts.
And they have no interest towards our lineage. Brandon Johnson gotta go. Let's go, Brandon. It's not just about race reparations. We have another problem with access to our road. We need an anti-Black crime bill. We have just witnessed a Jackson bill, a white supremacist shoot down 3 people for the same just simply because they were Black. Subsequent to that, there was another reported attempt at the church, right, that was thankfully thwarted, where they wanted to kill Black people in a church. This is literally how I saw our world. Within the past 30 days, then up in the case of an act.
And the Democratic Party, you gave an anti-Asian crime bill, hate crime bill, and you didn't give us shit. And that's the most important thing that we ever needed. All the atrocities that have been committed against the Black community. Fuck them Democrats. Fuck them. That's how I feel.
Massachusetts, we got young white supremacists sitting up there trying to drown a teenage Black girl in a pond in Yellow, Georgia. So we have a real problem. The DNC needs to give us an anti-Black criminal bill. It's extremely serious. Let's reel it back. Let's say we got the Buffalo. Oh, everybody being shot. No. You illegal. But only only Black people will vote. And that's what you're doing up in here today. Pandering for vote. So all of you students up in here, you're sitting on your hands, literally, and then you're going to be disrespectful and walk off the stage. But you're going to vote. They're ripping over 60 fucking years. If you're never here for the history, no, you have been on your side. We haven't got anything.
We ain't got shit for 50, 60 years voting Democrat. Fuck them.
It's a fact.
That's a fact.
That's what I call the Black people in the Democratic Party. I call them vote gatherers. They don't actually have any power. That's why wherever they're overseeing.
Actually, they boule gatekeepers of the Illuminati. That's what they are, gatekeepers.
Nothing ever gets done because the white people at the top. See, here's where people are confused. People keep telling me about how racist the Republican Party is, as if those same white racist people don't exist in the Democratic Party.
Facts. That part.
Between the two is the white Democratic Party is going to send out the black face who actually has no power to shuck and jive in front of us to try to get our votes. So these black people that you see out here in the Democratic Party, they're really nothing but vote gatherers. They don't actually have any power. They're never going to get anything passed to help the Black American. They're going to go out there, be very performative, jump around on stage, and then when it's time to say, are you going to build a new community center in the neighborhood, help the kids read and write? Oh, no, you got to wait for that. But, have you heard how racist the Republican Party is? It's like, don't nobody want to hear that, man. We need to get some stuff done. But the problem is, they don't actually have any power to get anything done.
That part.
Nothing but vote gatherers.
Well, like I said, they black bootleg, gatekeepers of the Illuminati.
Now, today's Democrat Party has got to be some of the most bloodthirsty, race-baiting, manipulating individuals on the face of the earth. I mean, demonic. Black folks, do you know why they want you guys to join into this fight about illegal immigrants? Even though it's against your better interests, but we all know that you fight for Democrats against your better interests.
Facts.
Anyway, but think about this, because this is truly not our.
You fighting to be replaced. Them black folks protesting at the ICE facility to be replaced. You voting for your own replacement. Who does that? I'm gonna have to come back to this. Like, share, subscribe, leave a comment, hit that like button. I'm coming back with another topic.